Hi. Okay, I'm really nervous. This is not my thing. This is Kristen's thing, obviously by her entrance. So, take a break. You got it. Okay, I'm good. All right, so here we go. Hi, everyone. Before I get started, there's something important that I'd like to address. For a long time now, actually since November 19th, 2016, people have been asking me about this very speech. You see, that day, which was my wedding day, my beautiful sister stood next to me, gave a short, heartfelt speech about how much she loves and adores me, and then proceeded to rap about our relationship to the entirety of Salt and Peppa's shoot. So, way to set the bar high, sis. And now that that elephant in the room has been addressed, I just have one thing to say. DJ, spin that track. Just kidding, I don't do that. My sister, I'm not a rock star. I'm a 4th grade teacher. And right now I'm pretending like you're all 9 years old because I'm terrified and truthfully a little bit sweaty. Thanks, Bill. So I researched all the components of a great matron of honor speech, and everything said to introduce yourself first. But let's be honest. If you know Kristen, you know Vicky. It wasn't always that way, though. When Kristen was born, she had my parents all to herself. She still refers to those as the glory years. 2.5 years later, I showed up, and she was a little threatened. And there's evidence of this on our home videos. Her pushing me off my dad's back when we were playing horsey. Her yelling at me to come pick up her headband that she dropped. And my personal favorite, an attempted bath time drowning when my mom stepped away from the tub for a minute. Still, I persisted. I'd wear her down eventually, and she'd have to include me in her games. And as we grew together, my dream finally came true. I was allowed to play with Kristen and her friends. I got to be the dad, the prince, and the butler, AKA all the roles that supported the star herself. My personal favorite game that Kristen concocted was called Princesses. Kristen was 7 and I was 5. We played this with our cousin Nikki at our grandfather's house. Kristen convinced us that the game was a fun one as she passed out roles. Kristen would be the princess of the flowers. Her job was to run through the gardens, sprinkling fairy dust and encouraging the flowers to grow. Nikki was dubbed the princess of the trees. Her job was to stand next to the tree and yell, grow. That left one last role for yours truly. My title was Princess of the Dirt. And my job was to stand on a dirt mound and out of the way of Her Majesty's frolicking, and to tell the dirt to grow. It was truly a dream come true, guys. Our relationship continued to grow and had its ups and downs. We supported each other's hobbies, her chorus and music concerts, my dance and softball games. We tested each other's limits. She stabbed me with a pen while signing a Mother's Day card. And I threw scissors into her foot while wrapping Christmas presents. But I vividly remember one day when I realized my sister wasn't just a tyrant. She was actually pretty cool. We were outside playing with a couple of the boys that lived up the street, and I fell off my bike. Kristen helped me up, and one of the little jerks called me a name. Without thinking, I punched him. Kristen yelled at him to go home, kicked his bike, and helped me inside. I knew I was in major trouble. My mom asked why we had come back from playing so soon, and before I could answer, my sister looked at her and said, the boys had to go home. Walked right past me and went to her room. I'd finally passed the test. We quickly became thick thieves. Her friends became my friends and vice versa. We helped each other sneak in if we were late for curfew. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but hey, we're getting along. She'd pick me and my friends up from the bars late night and take us to McDonald's. We started going to concerts together. HF Festival, NSYNC, Black Eyed Peas. In fact, we went to a leg warmers concert at this very venue for Kristen's 24th birthday. It was an 80s prom. Kristen was elected prom queen and danced to time after time with the prom king who wore a fanny pack. I was so proud of her. Which brings me to Will, otherwise known as Wheel. Will was a godsend, and I knew he loved Kristen right away. You see, Kristen didn't just haze me, she hazed Will too. Kristen subjected Will to group dates with safety friends when he thought it would just be the two of them. She would tell Will she was at one bar when really she was at another. And of course, her famous purse chicken moments when she would drunkenly hide Royal Farms chicken in her handbag so no one would see her eating it. She kept him from my family as long as she could. However, when we finally met Will, he and I instantly bonded over the hazing trials. And when I found out he loved baby goats, he was in. He knew a lot of random facts which allowed him and my dad to bond. And he tried his best to get Kristen to places on time, which my mom really appreciated. Will supports Kristen's music career, never feeling threatened at her abilities. And Kristen supports Will's love of Star Wars and comic books. You two truly bring out the best in each other. So tonight, in this beautiful venue, with all of their favorite people in one place, I proudly get to watch my sister dance the night away with her real prince. He might not be wearing a fanny pack, and she might be missing the bright blue eyeshadow, but this is the real happily ever after. To close out my speech, my research said that you should leave the couple with some solid marriage advice. I decided to turn to some song lyrics knowing that Kristen would understand that best. Lee Bryce said, "Be a best friend, tell the truth, and overuse I love you." Billy Joel said, "I said I love you, and that's forever, and this I promise from the heart. I could not love you any better. I love you just the way you are." Please join me in raising your glass to the beautiful couple and my personal favorite piece of wisdom from the Beatles, who said, "All you need is love."
There's nothing you can say that can't be sung.